The world you touch with your hands is not the source of your wealth. It is only the echo of your inner belief. Money does not come to you, it awakens through you. This is not a method. This is a remembering. There is a secret chamber within you where treasure waits, not earned, not chased, but called forth by your assumption of already having. If you dare to remain still, if only for a moment, something ancient in you will remember how the gold was always inside. Do not seek to store up treasures in the outer world where moth and rust corrupt and where thieves break in and steal. Store them where no hand may touch, no eye may see, and no decay may enter. Store them in heaven, which is your own wonderful human imagination. For where your treasure is, there shall your heart be also. I tell you now that all that you shall ever need, be it gold, land, favor, or fortune, lies not in the world of men, but is hidden in the secret chamber within you. The supply of your life is not outside. You are not a beggar in a world of coins. You are the fountain itself, and from within you, rivers of wealth and living power pour out into form. The outer man sees scarcity and fears, the inner man knows only abundance. When I say, I am richly supplied, I am not uttering a hope. I am declaring an eternal truth. The moment man awakens to this, he ceases striving and enters into the Sabbath of fulfillment. The world is a barren mirror to the one who looks outward, but it becomes a harvest field to the one who turns within. If a man would but dare to believe in his own creative I amness, the wilderness of lack would bloom like Eden. To say, I am wealthy, while feeling poor is to divide the house. But to say, I am and rest in the feeling of possession is to draw the invisible into the scene. When you say, I am, you summon the name of God. All things that follow are added unto you, not because they are attracted, but because they already are. You are not attracting wealth, you are remembering it. You are not pulling money toward you. You are calling it by name. As he called light out of darkness, so you call riches out of the unseen by assuming them as already yours. There is no fiction in imagination. All things exist. The money you desire, the fortune you dream of, the sudden increase, the miracle inheritance. They are not possibilities. They are realities in the dimensionless realm within you. To enter that realm, you need not move your body an inch. You need only still your mind and feel the reality of the wish fulfilled. If you would assume the feeling of already being the one you desire to be, and walk in that feeling with persistence, the outer world would reassemble itself to reflect that truth. A man once came to me, burdened with debts and fear. He saw no way out but despair. I told him, go into your room, shut the door to the senses, and in the silence declare, I am debt-free, I am wealthy, not with words, but with feeling. Dwell in that state as though it were the only truth. And he did. He went daily into the silence, not asking but assuming. Within weeks, not years, the tide turned. Unexpected money appeared. Forgiveness was granted. A contract arrived. Who did it? His assumption did it. The law does not fail. Can any man sow wheat and reap thorns? Can a fig tree bear olives? Then, if you sow the assumption of wealth, shall you not reap the fruits of wealth? But you must assume it in your being, not as hope, but as truth. For every seed bears after its own kind. The assumption once made and felt is the seed. Its harvest is sure. Do not dig it up with doubt. Let it grow unseen, and in time, the world will proclaim what you believed in secret. And now I tell you something greater still. You are not a vessel into which money pours. You are the source itself. The outer world is only your servant. It must reflect what you believe you are. If you see yourself as poor, it must obey. If you see yourself as rich, it has no choice but to comply. This is not magic, it is law. A is within, so without. The invisible root bears the visible fruit. Your state of consciousness is the cause of all you experience. Cease asking how it will come. The how belongs to shadows. You concern yourself only with being. If you are the state, the world will conform to the state. You cannot be wealthy within and poor without. It would be a violation of the law. But the opposite is also true. You cannot be poor within and remain wealthy without for long. The world always returns to match your innermost assumption. Suppose you wish to receive great wealth, millions, sudden and unexplainable. Would you chase after it? Or would you rest in the knowledge that it is already yours in the invisible? Would you imagine the letter in your hand, the figures on the paper, the weight of gold in your pocket, the smile on your face as you walk into the life of ease? If you can feel it, you can claim it. But if you only wish for it, you are yet without. The beggar and the prince both live within you. One waits, the other commands. One says, only. The other says, I am. Which voice shall rule your day? If you can hear the I am and not the clamor of fear, you have begun to enter the kingdom. All things are added there, not as reward, but as reflection. There is no distance in spirit. The millions you desire are not across seas or buried in vaults. They exist in the dimensionless realm now, awaiting only your assumption. Say within yourself, I am the one who has, and say it not once but until it is your natural tone. Do not strain. Rest. Do not reach. Beach. Have you not read that he calleth those things that be not as though they were? And by such calling they are. To call wealth into being, you must speak in the tongue of God, the silent speech of feeling. The assumption carries the tone of finality. It is done. It is finished. The seed is planted. Imagine you held in your hand a check so great it changes your life. See your name, the amount, the signature. Smell the paper. Feel the stillness of completion. It is yours. Now drop the image, but hold the feeling. The feeling is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And that substance is the only reality. A woman once imagined for her son that he was employed, successful, abundant. At the time, he had nothing. But in her inner chamber, she saw him clothed in new garments, walking with dignity, and coming home with gifts. In her vision, she heard his voice speaking joy. Though he was unaware, her assumption clothed him. Within a short season, his outer life rearranged itself to match what she saw in silence. He was hired, promoted, and blessed. Who did it? Her imagination. For imagination creates reality. Do not discount the power that dwells in you. It is the Ancient of Days, the Lord of Hosts. When you say, I am rich, you are not lying. You are pronouncing a deeper truth than facts reveal. The facts may say no, but the truth of I am says yes. The world adjusts to that yes. It has no will of its own. And now we come to the holy mystery, that what you assume becomes. Not by effort, but by law. The law is automatic. It has no preference. It gives to each according to his assumption. The poor man assumes poverty and the law gives it. The rich man assumes riches and the law gives that too. It does not judge, it only reflects. You need not beg it. Only assume. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich. This is not denial. It is resurrection. You are lifting the old man into the new. The former things are passed away. Behold, all things are made new. When you assume them to be, not in the future, but now. Now is the appointed hour, not tomorrow, not when the check comes. Now, feel yourself to be the one you desire to be and persist in that feeling, and the outer world will bow. The winds shall carry wealth to your hand. Doors shall open where there were none. Men shall call you blessed and not know why, but you shall know, for you dared to assume. The feeling of already having is the true prayer, not words spoken into the air, not the repetition of requests, not the sound upon the lips, but the inward sensation of having already received. That is prayer. That is communion. That is the only key that opens the treasury of heaven. Prayer is not begging. Prayer is not petition. Prayer is possession. You do not stand at the door knocking, hoping someone will hear. You enter boldly, knowing it is already yours. You speak the language of already being. You sit at the table as one who belongs, not as one awaiting invitation. This is the secret whispered in every holy text. One ye pray, believe that ye have received it, and ye shall have it. To believe that you have already received is not to lie, it is to awaken. For all that you could ever desire already is. It is done, finished, established before the foundations of the world. What you call future is only the unfolding of what already exists in the eternal now. You are not creating wealth. You are assuming the state where wealth already is and resting in its vibration. To feel the wish fulfilled is to stand still in the middle of answered prayer. You are not trying to get money. You are being one who has money, not someday, not tomorrow. Now, this is the mystery of mysteries. The one who has more shall be given. Why? Because he assumes having. And to the one who has not, even what he seems to have shall be taken away. Why? Because he assumes lack. There is no power outside your own wonderful human imagination. All states exist. Poverty is a state. Wealth is a state. Struggle is a state. Ease is a state. No one can remain in a state and avoid its harvest. But no one is condemned to any state. You may leave it at any moment, not by action, but by assumption. Suppose now that you desire great wealth, not as fantasy, but as living reality. You wish to feel the weight of gold, the thrill of numbers that multiply, the peace of abundance that needs no explanation. You close your eyes, and instead of thinking about money, you feel as though it were already done, already yours, already given. Do you not remember the story of the man by the pool? 38 years he lay waiting, hoping, watching for the stirring of the waters. And the Christ said to him, "Wilt thou be made whole? Not can you. Not will the angel come, but wilt thou? Will you now claim wholeness? Will you now feel as one who has, rather than one who waits?" The answer is always now. The question is always, are you willing to feel it now? Feel yourself already in possession of the money you seek. See no one to give it. Hear no news of its arrival. Let the how vanish. Let the word be silent, and you, within your chamber, feel it done. Sit there as one who no longer needs. Walk through your day as one already possessing, not because you see it, but because you feel it. The feeling is the secret. The feeling is the doorway, not the thought. Thought is the servant. Feeling is the throne. Feeling clothes the invisible with form. You may think yourself rich and remain poor, but you cannot feel yourself rich and remain without. The law will not permit it. For the law is perfect, and it will not return unto you void. Imagine now, not a scene of wanting, but a scene of fulfillment. Picture not the yearning, but the aftermath. The feeling after the wish is granted. The silence that follows the answered prayer. What would you do differently if you were already wealthy? How would you rise? How would you move? How would you speak? Now, be that. Let the poor say, "I am rich," not as denial, but as declaration, as resurrection. You are not affirming what is not. You are stepping into what already is. The Father sees in secret. The Father rewards openly. And the Father is your own imagination, the source and stream of every form you call into being. You do not have to work to become wealthy. You have to feel as one who already is. Work is not the cause. The cause is consciousness. Work is only a bridge, a shadow cast by your state. Begin with the feeling. Persist in the feeling. Let the feeling become your dwelling place, and the shadows must come to obey. The world is a mirror. It cannot initiate. It can only reflect. Feel poor, and it reflects poverty. Feel rich, and it reflects wealth. But the mirror does not move first. You do. You assume the feeling. The world conforms. That is the law. That is the structure of reality. That is the wisdom hidden before ages, now made known. If a man stands before a cold fireplace and says, "Give me heat, and I will give you wood," he waits in vain. The fire must be built within. The feeling must be kindled in silence. And once it burns, the world responds with light, with warmth, with visible proof of the invisible flame. You must build the altar of wealth in your own imagination and place upon it the sacrifice of doubt. Then, and only then, shall the fire descend. Assume you are already the one you long to be, not by effort, but by surrender. Let go of appearances. Let go of fact. Let go of time. Sink into the state where the wish is fulfilled. Remain there. Dwell there. Build your house in that country, and the winds will carry you across oceans, over obstacles, through impossibilities, into the manifestation of what you dare to feel. The prayer of wealth is the feeling of wealth, not the asking, but the assuming. Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. This is not poetry. This is law. The moment you feel it real, the answer is given. Though the harvest is not yet visible to sight, it is already yours by feeling. The moment the seed touches the soil of belief, the fruit is inevitable. Do not return to dig it up with worry. Do not doubt. Do not measure the sun. Simply know it is done. Let that be your rest. Let that be your Sabbath. And now I say to you, stop treating money as a visitor. Stop chasing it. Stop kneeling before it. Money is not your master. It is your servant. It was never meant to be worshipped. It was meant to obey. You are not the subject of money. You are the source from which it flows. The supply of your life is not in banks or jobs or inheritance. It is in your consciousness. The moment you see money as separate from you, you cast it away. The moment you place it above you, you make yourself its slave. But the moment you declare, I am wealth, you call money into its proper place, under your dominion, under your command. You are the master, not the means. You are the source, not the seeker. A man once said to me, I will feel wealthy once the check arrives. And I said to him, the check arrives once you feel wealthy. That is the order of creation. You do not wait to see. You see because you first felt. Feeling precedes form. Assumption precedes fact. The inner precedes the outer, always. When you walk into a room as one who has, the room changes. When you carry yourself as one who lacks nothing, life bows. The world responds not to your words, but to your inner vibration. Your state whispers louder than your voice. The vibration of I am rich speaks in the language of the universe, and all things obey. Would you like to test this? Then tonight, as you close your eyes, see nothing but the life you desire. Feel nothing but the satisfaction of its completion. Hear no voice of doubt. Hear only the inner assurance, it is done. Do not wait to see it with your eyes. Feel it now, and the outer world will follow, for it must. There is no power outside your assumption. There is no force more potent than the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You may pass 1,000 hours in action and gain little. But one moment in true feeling is enough to move mountains. It is not by might, it is not by power, it is by spirit. And spirit moves only at the impulse of your assumption. Declare yourself rich, not loudly but deeply. Not to others, but to yourself. Whisper it within, let it become your constant tone. Not, I will be, but I am, not someday, but now. And that declaration, felt as true, will reorder your world. If money were already yours, what would change in your tone? In your walk, in your rest? Take that tone now. Walk now. Rest now. And you shall see the shadow follow the light of your own assumption. Do not worry how the money will come. Do not chart the course. Do not measure the hours. Simply know it is yours. Let that be enough. Let the inner state be so vivid, so natural, so unshakable that the outer must obey. And it will. Money is not a mystery. It is a reflection. And you are the cause. The law is simple. To him that hath shall be given. Why? Because he hath assumed. He hath accepted. He hath claimed within what the world cannot yet see. And now I invite you to stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop looking outward. Enter into the chamber of your own imagination. There declare the end. Feel the wealth. Taste the feast. Hear the laughter. Walk the floor of your mansion. Count the notes in your hand. Feel the gratitude of already having. That is your true power. That is the prayer that is always answered. That is the key to the kingdom, and the kingdom is within you. There is no other cause but consciousness. Nothing moves but your mind moves it. Nothing appears but what you have assumed into being. No man gives to you unless your inner state calls him forth. No gift is received unless it first be claimed in the silence of being. You are the operant power, you are the cause. You are the center from which all radiates, and until that is known and accepted, not with the lips, but with the spirit, you will walk in shadows and call them reality. All that is visible is born from the invisible. That which appears was summoned by the unseen state you dare to dwell in. Do not be fooled by appearances. They are echoes. They are reflections. They are fruits that testify to a seed once sown in consciousness. The tree was not first. The seed was first. The outer condition was not first. The inner assumption preceded it. As within, so without. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word is not sound. The Word is intention, consciousness, knowing. In the beginning was the state, the assumption, the felt truth. That state was with God, for it arose from consciousness. That state was God, for consciousness alone is God. And all things were made by it, and without it was not anything made that was made. You may look to men, to jobs, to chance, to change. But these are only instruments. These are only masks. These are shadows dancing on the screen. The light that casts them is your consciousness. They obey your inner state, for they have no reality of their own. There is no luck. There is only law. There is no chance. There is only reflection. Suppose you desire wealth, not as one who begs, but as one who knows he already possesses it in unseen form. Then, in the silence of your chamber, you take upon yourself the state of wealth. Not by striving, not by seeking, but by surrendering into it. You wear it as a garment. You feel it clothe your being. You walk as though the treasure were already in your hands. Then something strange happens. The world begins to shift. People appear. Opportunities emerge. Circumstances rearrange. And you say, it happened. But it did not happen. It obeyed. It obeyed the law. It mirrored your consciousness. It was not drawn to you. It was born through you. For nothing comes from without. All comes from within. A man once came to me in despair. His business failing, his hopes crumbled. He saw nothing but ruin. I said to him, change the seed, and you change the harvest. Assume the state you desire. Be inwardly the man who is already successful, already in possession, already in joy. He looked at me doubtful, but he tried. In the silence of the night, he assumed the tone of the fulfilled man. He walked in imagination as one who had won. Within days, unseen channels opened. The business revived. Favor returned. He did not will it. He assumed it. And the assumption was the cause. Be still and know that I am God. Not in the storm, not in the noise, not in the struggle. Be still. And in that stillness, feel the truth of being. Know that your own I amness is God. The God who creates wealth. The God who multiplies loaves. The God who calls that which is not as though it were, and it becomes. You may ask, but how shall I change my outer world? And I say to you, change your inner state. You may ask, how shall I attract wealth? And I say, wealth is not attracted, it is expressed. You may ask, what must I do? And I say, you must assume. You must dwell in the end. You must live from the wish fulfilled. If you plant corn, shall wheat grow? If you feel yourself poor, shall wealth appear? If you dwell in fear, shall peace find you? No, for God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And what is sowing but assuming? What is reaping but outpicturing? Every man is self-begotten. He walks in a world of his own making. He dwells in the house he has built with his inner states. His poverty, his riches, his sorrow, his joy, they are not visited upon him by fate or by others. They are born from the womb of consciousness. He walks in the shadow of his own being. You may sit in silence and there assume that you are a millionaire, not with struggle, not with resistance, but with ease. You relax and feel the joy of it. You feel the calm knowing of it. You look out through the eyes of the one who already has, and then you rise from your chair, not to make it happen, but to walk in the state of having. That act alone, the assumption, the feeling, the stillness, is the cause. All else is movement. All else is echo. Imagination is the only redemptive power. You are not redeemed by toil. You are not saved by chance. You are redeemed the moment you refuse to see limitation as truth and claim instead the fullness of being. Say to yourself, I and my Father are one. My imagination and my world are one. What I assume inwardly, I see outwardly. What I dare to feel as true becomes. Imagine a man who digs for treasure in his backyard. Day after day he searches, believing it lies beneath the surface. But another man, knowing the secret, sits in his home, closes his eyes, and feels the weight of the gold in his hand. He sees the vault. He tastes the abundance. He rests in the feeling of possession. Which man shall find the treasure? Not the one who digs in soil, but the one who plants in spirit. Do not be distracted by appearances. The senses are servants. They report to you what you have instructed them to find. If you change your instruction, their report must change. If you change your assumption, the world must obey. This is not speculation, this is law. All that you behold, though it appears without, it is within, in your imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. You do not live in the world lives in you. You do not move through space. You move through states. You do not travel to fortune. You assume fortune and remain still, and it finds you. For your consciousness is the magnet, the center, the cause. Suppose now that you desire to win great riches through a lottery. Do not look to numbers. Do not chase luck. Go within. Assume that the winning is done. Feel it, rest in it, hear the announcement, smell the paper. Feel the sudden quiet of fulfillment, dwell there, walk there, sleep there. And the world must reflect your certainty. You are not hoping, you are not wishing. You are knowing, you are being, you are declaring, I am the one who has, not as pretense but as truth. The world may deny it, the senses may mock it, but the law shall not fail. The law shall echo what you have assumed. And now I say to you, whatever you desire, be it house, gold, land, joy, or favor, claim it first within, assume it, rest in it, refuse all evidence to the contrary, live from the end, move through the world not seeking but expressing, and in due season the shadow shall match the substance. You are not powerless, you are not a victim, you are not in waiting, you are the cause of your world. You are the God of your reality. You are the seed, the soil, and the harvest. Nothing comes but what you have called. Nothing stays but what you have fed. Nothing leaves but what you have released. And if today you are without, do not despair. It is only the echo of an old state. Cease repeating it. Begin anew. Assume wealth, assume ease, assume plenty. Not with effort, but with stillness. Let the state become your dwelling. Let it clothe you. And the world shall kneel before your assumption. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. In the midst of lack, the table is set. In the face of poverty, the feast is present. But only the one who assumes may sit and eat. The others wait for signs. The others look to facts. But the one who believes eats now. You do not have to force the world to give. It already has. It already is. You need only align. You need only feel. You need only enter the state and remain. That is all. That is everything. Consciousness is the only cause. You do not move toward what you want. You move from what you are. You do not become rich. You awaken to the truth that you already are. All movement is spiritual. All travel is within. You do not journey to a place called wealth. You do not ascend to a realm of abundance. You do not climb to the palace of fortune. You enter it through the door of assumption, and you dwell in it by right of consciousness. You walk in the end, not toward it. You are not a seeker. You are not a pilgrim. You are not one who knocks, waiting to be admitted. You are the son in the house. You are the heir of all things. You must see yourself not as becoming, but as being. Not as arriving, but as having already arrived. The wish fulfilled is your starting point, not your destination. You do not walk hoping it may be so. You walk because it already is. This is the secret of all true manifestation. This is the hidden path that few take. though it lies in the open. To walk in the end is to feel it real now, to breathe the air of the mountaintop while still in the valley, to speak as one who already holds the prize, to move, not in faith toward a possibility, but in the knowing of what is already complete. The end is a state, and when you walk in that state, the world must conform. Declare the end from the beginning, says the prophet, and it shall not return void. You do not declare the steps. You do not declare the obstacles. You do not declare the waiting. You declare the end. You name it now. You clothe yourself with its feeling, and then you walk in that feeling until the shadows gather around your light and take its form. Suppose now you desire to be rich, not as a dream, but as a state of being. You see others with what you desire. You hear of fortunes made overnight. You read of men whose names are followed by digits, and your heart burns, but you do not know how. You do not see the path. And I tell you, you do not need the path. You need the end. You need only assume the tone of the one who is already rich. You need only walk, not as one seeking wealth, but as one who already has it, not in pretense, not in play, but in silent certainty. Imagine now that your name has been called. The winning number is yours. The vaults are opened. The account bears your name. The papers are signed. The house is yours. The cars are yours. The land is yours. The abundance is yours. Can you feel it? Not with hope, but with the calm assurance of a man who checks his coat pocket and finds the gold still there. And now that you have it, how do you move? What has changed? How do you walk into a room? How do you look upon others? How do you greet the morning? How do you sleep at night? Let that feeling fill you. Let that tone be your breath. And walk from that. Move from that. Speak from that. Not because the world has changed, but because your state has changed, and the world must follow. You do not wait to see it. You see it inwardly, and you wait for the world to echo. You are not walking toward riches. You are walking from riches. The outer follows the inner, the seen obeys the unseen. The flesh yields to the spirit, and the spirit is your assumption. There is a table already set. There is a robe already waiting. There is a ring already yours. The fatted calf is already prepared. But the feast is not found at the end of your striving. It is found the moment you say within yourself, I will arise and go to my Father. And before you finish the sentence, the robe is upon your shoulders and the ring upon your hand. Not because you are deserving, but because you dared to come from the end. The prodigal son did not earn the inheritance. He returned to the state of sonship. The robe was not given as a reward. It was restored as identity. The feast was not payment. It was a reflection of his return to the truth of being. And so it is with you. You do not earn wealth. You do not chase fortune. You return inwardly to the state where wealth already is, and you dwell there until it becomes your natural breath. You walk in the end. And what is the end? It is the state of already being, already possessing, already fulfilled, not in the future, but now, not tomorrow. But this moment inwardly felt and inwardly worn. A woman once came to me and said, I want to be a lady of great means. I want to live a life of ease and beauty and grace. And I said to her, then walk in the end. She asked, but how do I begin? I said, you begin at the end. You do not climb to it. You start there. And so she did. She imagined herself already surrounded by beauty, already admired, already sought after. She felt the linens, the soft chairs, the sound of a quiet house. She rehearsed her day as one who no longer needs, but who gives. She fell asleep each night as a woman who lives in ease. And soon the men came, the doors opened, the offers arrived, and the world conformed, not because she worked harder, but because she walked in the end. You may see a man with nothing, sitting alone in a room without ornament. But if inwardly he walks as a prince, if he moves from the palace of assumption, then the world will soon reflect his royal state. He does not need the gold first. He needs only to be the one who has it, and the gold will come, for it must. You do not reach the summit by striving up the rocks. You reach it by assuming you are already there. Close your eyes. Stand on the peak. Feel the wind of fulfillment on your face. Look down upon the land that is yours. And from that height you descend into the day, not as one climbing, but as one reigning. This is the mystery of all scripture. Call things that be not as though they were. You do not wait for the harvest to rejoice. You rejoice and the harvest comes. You do not wait for the water to appear to dig the well. You dig the well in the dry ground, and the water obeys. Walk in the end. Do not say, I will be rich. Say, I am rich. Do not say, I will one day see the abundance. Say, it is mine now. And say it not as noise. Say it as life. Say it until it needs no words. Say it until it says itself in silence. Suppose now you desire to win a fortune, not little by little, but sudden and overwhelming. Then assume the state of the one who has already won, not the excitement of waiting, not the anxiety of hoping, but the peace of the one who has. Imagine the deposit is already made. Imagine the numbers are already drawn. Imagine the wealth has already been named yours. And then walk in that knowledge. Speak with its calm. Move with its ease. Give from its abundance. And do not look for signs. The signs will look for you. Walk in the end. All states are already finished. All futures already exist. You are not creating. You are selecting. You are not building. You are entering. You do not construct your fortune brick by brick. You step into it, and the stepping is done in imagination. Feel it now. Be it now. Rest in it now, and the world cannot help but follow, for it is only echo. It is only reflection. It is only the shadow of your light. You do not need the help of man. You need only the garment of your assumption. Put it on. Wear it in silence. And the world will treat you as you treat yourself. Do you not remember the story of Jacob? He clothed himself in the garments of the firstborn. He put on the skin of Esau, the feel of the heir, and the blessing came, not because of merit, but because of feeling. The father said, the voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's. And the blessing was given to the one who felt like the heir. So too, if you feel like the rich man, the world will bless you as rich. If you feel like the chosen, the world will treat you as chosen. If you walk as the one who already has, the world will echo your having. But if you walk as one who waits, then you shall wait. Walk in the end. See the curtain drawn. Feel the final chapter. Hear the applause of completion. Let the outcome be your beginning. Let the final note be your first breath. You are not on the way. You are at the end. Let every step declare, it is finished. And as you do, the world shall part before you as the Red Sea before Moses. For you move not by power, but by being. You move not by effort, but by identity. And when you walk in the end, you are no longer the one who seeks. You are the one who has found. And so you stand not at the threshold of your desire, but at its fulfillment. You walk not as one becoming, but as one who already is. The law of assumption is not a method. It is the revelation of your eternal nature. You are the operant power, clothed in flesh, dreaming of lack only to awaken into the riches that were always yours. The palace was never far. The wealth was never delayed. The treasure was never buried in the future. It lay within you, veiled by your own disbelief. You do not attain. You remember. You do not acquire. You awaken. All things exist. All states are finished. And you, by assumption, move from one to another. You do not beg, you assume. You do not wait, you claim. You do not question, you embody. The lottery is not won, it is yours. The fortune is not chased, it is yours. The wealth is not earned, it is yours. By right of consciousness, by the authority of I am, you declare the end from the beginning, and it shall not return void. Live from the wish fulfilled. Move from the state desired. Feel it real and let the world yield to your inner command. For creation is finished, and all you truly seek already is.